Hey, fellow traveler and viewer, welcome to Timeless Tarot, where we do tarot card readings unbound by time. So, to begin with, let's draw 3 cards so that you can choose which pile or which reading you would prefer to watch. Remember, you are free to choose to watch one or all of the readings because the choice to explore is always up to you. Okay, so also, please keep in mind that these are broad readings, so if you feel a strong connection to any idea or theme during the reading, bring it along with you on your journey, and if not, let it float on by. We will start by revealing these 3 cards, and let's go. So for pile number 1, we have the King of Cups. For pile number 2, we have the Devil card. And for pile number 3, we have the Page of Pentacles. Now, I'd like to really quickly talk about the Devil card since it popped out early in this video. I deal with symbols. Okay, so for me, it's about the representation of the symbol and what that can mean for you. My interpretation of the Devil is one of a barrier to the threshold of finding the brighter path. So like in this case, this is more so just thinking about habits, thinking about how to better bring forth your inner light, and the challenge that comes in this card is going to be what you need to surmount in order to become the best agent in your life in a way that allows you to really communally create a world of peace and prosperity with all. So we're bringing this is just a reminder that there are challenges along the way in everyone's journey, and what that challenge might be is something that can be explored so that we can find a way to ascend past it and to really work through love and community. Okay, so let's begin with pile number 1. Now that I discussed that. Also, please keep in mind that this is a brand new channel, so subscribing and commenting is greatly appreciated and helps this channel grow. So it's very much appreciated. Okay, we're gonna start with pile number 1 now. Hey, group number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the King of Cups. Okay, did I say King of Pentacles in the intro? I think I might have. King of Cups. Okay. So someone who is maturely approaching their emotional state of being and how it relates to others. Somebody who is able to really be present with the emotions of others so that they can create that stability that allows for a safe reflection of oneself. Okay, so let's see what we have here. A comfortable means of expression, a comfortable space for one can express oneself authentically, I should add. Okay, so let's go. Let's jump in this. Enough of me talking. Let's see some of these cards. We have the Moon. The Moon is on the mind. Some unknown aspect of the self, which may be causing some form of fear, but is going to actually potentially reveal the right path forward. We have the 7 of Wands, which is being a little bit stubborn and thinking and not kind of not listening in some ways in this regard, because we're leading to the Moon. Some kind of pushback against perhaps a conflicting opinion. Okay, and then in the past there was a lot of mindset on family, of growth of family, of happily ever after energy, and we have this King of Cups here, leading to it looks like maybe some form of standing your ground moment, which leads to a reflective state of not really being sure about something, almost like pensive, maybe, but something is just unknown right now. There's an unknown in the mind. Okay, but that leads to King of Wands. Okay, so a sense of confidence. So there's going to be something probably in the more clarifying cards, the other realms of aspects of the self, which might be clarifying this transition from moon to wands, because we have this kind of maybe a little less confident state of being a little unsure of what's happening, leading to being confident that one has what's needed to accomplish and solve problems. Okay, to accomplish the goals and solve problems. We have this Three of Wands leading off in the future. So in some ways, there's going to be a letting go, some kind of establishing something and then releasing it into the world and seeing where it flows, allowing teams to go off on their own. This is one of those things that's kind of the opposite of micromanaging. Okay, if we're working in a career-oriented environment, this is the opposite of micromanaging. It's more of a allow the team to get their work done and be confident that they will be able to achieve that. Okay. But we have this confidence here of leadership, of charisma, a kind of MacGyver energy, if you're familiar with that classic show. It's that kind of being able to think through problem and find a solution through, or resolution, through what is available and at hand. Okay, cool. This one just wanted to come out too. Go there. Okay, so what do we have here? We have the Queen of Cups. Well, look at that. So embodiment of the center here, the you of the present. We have this nurturing energy that is absolutely one of nurturing emotional well-being and a sense of peace, and well-being is really the word that seems to be shining through right now. And it's funny because you chose the King of Cups, and here we are with the Queen of Cups in the center. So that's interesting. This kind of, perhaps there is, now we have a potential romantic relationship here, or it could be a potential balancing of the self, of really enhancing one's emotional maturity on both fronts. The more masculine energy of having kind of being adept with one's emotional state of being, like knowing when the rising tides are coming, having the understanding of the waves and the storms, and finding a way to consciously create a serenity so that there can be space for everything to live within this environment. And then you have the nurturing aspect of it, the growing aspect, the more bringing back the positive energy flows, the sense of well-being within, the sense of self-assuredness and self-charisma. Like, this can lead to charisma, absolutely. We have this sense of well-being leading to confidence. So there's the two pairings here, which is really nice. In the past we have this Three of Cups energy, so meditation leading to new mindsets. In this case, I would say this is a beautiful card. I've actually begun to drift away from its more traditional meaning of sorrow, of the three feeling like lack. That's not happening in this card. Absolutely, this is absolutely not. This is a sense of practicing great gratitude, practicing mindfulness, being patient and at ease, just kind of being, and allowing the good to come to you through being patient with divine timing. This is a timeless tarot reading, so remember that things can come in unexpected ways at unexpected times. We often want what we want right now, but that's not really how it works, right? Another card I generally have a more modern interpretation for, we're revealing the Four of Pentacles. So in this case, we have more of an association with digital communication. This is one where we're kind of holding on to an energy we get from technology. It can also be being frugal, a less modern, more traditional meaning of holding on to one's wealth. The warning of this card, the flip side of this card, is always, to be mindful that one doesn't become too frugal, where they're clinging to something that should be let go of. In this case, it could be both, but this is really just an association in my mind with kind of someone who's up at night on their phone, just talking or maybe scrolling, something like that. If you tend to like scroll, I found that the scrolling mechanisms of I like long form much better than scrolling, but that's just kind of the aspect of this card. I think this is also a reminder to remember to let go of the things that are kind of holding you onto you. Okay, so then there's that release. Talking about letting go, we have judgment, the sense that there's kind of a rebalancing of the self through being at peace with what one is, but also becoming. The essence of becoming allows you to release what once was, and that's truly, a move here. We have this mindset of this new king here, leading to confidence. And it's not letting go of this one, but it's kind of the lesson learned from this one is somebody who's able to be, to calm themselves. Okay. And to calm themselves absolutely would involve the hermit as well, because we have this sense of solitude, but finding light and wisdom within. This is someone who can kind of, go off on their own and figure things out through solitary thought. It can also be study. It can, in some situations, with like schooling, it can be like just kind of going in your room and just studying and studying and studying. It could also be in touch with or talking to somebody who has gone off on their own for a while and has some wisdom to share. But oftentimes, what the hermit means, in its strongest symbol, is the light. So the hermit holds the candle, and that light is actually from within. There's a sense that the light is from within. Your wisdom is in you. Everyone has light within. There's light coming forth. Okay. Beautiful. So let's clarify this a little more. See what other cards we get. More deeper emotional states. If we're calming the mind to see, all of the wonders that's within, right? This spectacular array of life and of perspectives and of different ways of being. There's this kind of emotional sense to this that's very interesting. When you can calm the waters, you can see so much more. Okay, so we have this third card clarifying the Queen of Cups and the Moon. We have Temperance. Well, look at this strong centered gravity here, this strong sense of patience, of not falling into coping situations, but allowing oneself to really see and realize that there's transformation through what could be a sense of discomfort. That sense of discomfort is in some ways, many times when calming the mind, there's a momentary sense of discomfort, but giving it a moment of peace, saying it's all right. We're just going to continue. We're going to stay here. We're not going to move. We're going to find that peace and tranquility, and we're going to transform these tumultuous waters into beautiful, crystal clear, refreshing waters of serenity, like real serene moments here. In the past, within you, there was real foundation being built. This could have been taking a lot of work, applying it to meditation, and really, in some ways being a little stubborn, but your strong conviction that the path you're taking is right, and one where you're meditating on it in a way that allows you to have a stable emotional foundation to lead towards this nurturing of yourself, nurturing of your emotions. This could be a connection to like inner child kind of energy, a sense of really healing, and like getting back in touch with oneself, but still being very mindful of one's masculine authority over calming waters and being in touch and able to see clearly what is happening within. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of meditation here in some ways, but also a lot of like kind of holding on. So we have a holding on energy here, thoughts on the mind. In the past, we have the 10 of Cups. So in the thoughts, in the spiritual center, connection with how you communicated with others, there's a lot of talk of love, a lot of talk of family, of establishing a family of some sort, or of reinvigorating or strengthening family bonds. This was done through a process of either saving money or digital communication, some form of like back and forth. But the inner the inner self was kind of holding oneself back, okay? Then this led to being kind of like sticking to your like your thought. You were going to continue with this idea. You were meditating on it, and you were establishing a more strong foundation within, with the Four of Wands in the within center, and a Four of Cups on the surface in the five senses world. And then above, in the mind and the spirit, there was some form of stubbornness standing the ground, okay? This moved on to a sense that in the mind there's something missing now. Something is not yet found. But within, there's a sense that there's a lot of transformation happening within. And there's focus on nurturing oneself and being kind to oneself. Really, if there's moments where you kind of look at yourself a little harshly, just take a step back and realize like there might be some reasons for this, but you're still a fantastic being filled with light. And this is just one of those moments where you're clarifying something, and it's going to come into sync with what you're doing, because you're going to find confidence here and release. So it is going to kind of, I want to say sift in, not shift, but sift into place, and you'll have a much stronger understanding. Yeah, balance. So this transfer, look at this, it's almost the two cups, the two chalices are almost like coming in as like strong balance here. And we have the alignment of the lion energy here, so confidence and charisma of the mind and of the heart, in conjunction with, I would say, a physical sense of release. Okay, like a real relief of letting go. Sense of letting go and actually finding that balance is going to relieve a lot of tension in oneself. Okay. And we have more balance. So we have this kind of choice of mindsets energy here, because it's within, a choice of emotional balance. This is one of those times where there's a choice to be made, but you're balancing it well, and you're going to, don't rush into this choice. You're going to be wise in how you approach it. And it has something to do with this letting go of micromanaging oneself or others, okay? Controlling, some kind of letting go of control over something, because here we're moving from the King of Cups to the Queen of Cups, which is shifting from like a more controlling, but in a very way like a guiding presence, like a very strong guiding presence, and we're leading to a nurturing presence, which can mean letting go a little bit of the mindset, or letting go of control of like some aspect of the self, kind of almost allowing your inner self to make the choices, because you found wisdom in it and you see that it's balanced and capable. Okay. All right. So group number 1, this has been your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel to see more readings like this in the future. I can't wait to hear how you're doing. Please leave a comment in the video if you'd like. It's always great to hear from you. Take care. Greetings. Group number 2. You chose the Devil card. I'm going to put it right there. I hope you're doing well. How are you doing? I kind of discussed a little bit about the Devil card already, so we're just going to jump right in and draw 5 cards. I'm going to see what's on the mind today. Perhaps there's some guardian of the unknown involved in this reading, and an interaction with the guardian of the unknown. There might be some fearful of what happens when you transcend into somebody more capable. Okay, we have this wellspring. So thoughts on your mind is about the wellspring, the creatrix, that kind of moment of just, that inspiration, that popping in the mind energy. Okay, and there's when is it going to end? When is it going to end? Okay, and then we have the 3 of Wands. So letting go, having let go and thought about letting go, we're still in this stage where like, when is this going to end? Leading to like this creative wellspring. What was blocking you? There's this blockage in the past. We're leading to a new emotional state in the future. One that is positive and healing. But it's going to take work. It's going to continually take work. That's kind of a universal, isn't it? There's never like a finally I have fulfilled my growth moment. There are moments of real realization, moments of revelation, and those are beautiful. And they do kind of feel like, yes, finally, I got there. It's kind of like, when you're playing a video game, you beat a level. Well, this is a video game that kind of never ends, okay? This is one of those times where it's going to continue going, but that's okay because each time you move forward through a revelation or some kind of, um, you've made a breakthrough, that just strengthens you and allows you to just be more capable of experiencing even more things in the future, and that's beautiful. Something positive, something really constructive, something that can create a foundation for more people to feel able to heal and grow themselves. Okay. So we have the Four of Cups. So mindfulness, meditation is key here. Being in tune with oneself, sitting with oneself, no distractions. In this case, like meditation can be, setting a timer for something like 15 minutes. But if you've never meditated before, perhaps 5 is a better number to start with. But reaching at least a point of 15 minutes can really provide wonderful benefits to how somebody responds to any surprise in the future. Okay. This is a lot of healing. You've been doing a lot of healing, and you're like, do I have to go back to this? Do I have to continue to heal? Look, the cycle of healing is always within us, but there are moments of joy, of light, of just being able to express oneself wholeheartedly, and you're getting there. Okay, we have the Knight of Swords in the past, a little bit more dogmatic approach to a situation. Not necessarily bad, though. I haven't seen the block yet. I haven't seen the challenge, but maybe it's down here. It could also be the sense of impatience, feeling like when's it gonna start. But I feel like that there's something else here because we have this release moment through meditation coming up, or right now, in fact. What does it lead to? Well, I said surprise. I kind of expected this to pop out. Okay, so the surprise, this brand new emotional state, this shock, right, leads to, what were we talking about? Foundation, where people can be safe to grow and to transcend as well. And this is exactly what you want to see. You have the 10 of Pentacles in the world. So this is in the five senses realm, the sense of, so real foundational energy of finding and establishing a stable home, one where you you're able to protect everyone involved, the family themselves, so that everybody can grow beautifully and in a spiritually safe way, something that allows for a calmer approach in the future, one of mindfulness and meditation. This surprise in the future is able to be handled very beautifully through having meditated and practiced meditation now, practicing meditation now, allowing the surprises to be one that can be handled through the mind, that leads to a real fundamental material safety. Okay. And comfort. I mean, a lot of comfort, being comfortable, knowing one's safe. Yeah. Okay, now we have clarifying the well and the Four of Cups. We have justice. So there's balance within you. Beautiful. Balance within. This is a sense of kind of taking one's heart and mind and being in agreement when making decisions, because we've aligned ourselves with the higher ideals so that everything's in line. Everything's vibrating, or everything's resonating in this way. Now we have something that could be talking about this guy here. We have a sense of fairness here. Okay? Feeling like one was judged feeling like somebody was slighted, and we have the swords, like this strong sword energy. Um, yeah, okay, strong sword energy even more. We have 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords, Knight of Swords. There's a healing moment, but it is looking back. It's taking a moment to look back and kind of work through mindsets. And man, this is tiring, but important. So this is something where this could be kind of a two-way street here. There's a balance where this could be a more of a therapy session going to, this could, I'm just going to say explicitly, this could be like going to a psychologist in the past. And then this could be having gone, that's a lot of work, being very tired. And then here it can be the meditative practice that allows you to, the space to take a break from the work that's being done to improve oneself. This sense of what's unfair might be what was holding you back. There might have been looking at how things were like not fair done to you in the past that leaves a sense of resentment in the past, okay? But this turns into a sense of realizing that in order to move forward, one has to just be at peace and to allow room for forgiveness, okay? That's something for oneself even. That's really important. This is a situation where forgiveness will vanquish this, and gratitude will vanquish this. This is not something that stays around. This is someone or something, an act that it's not someone. It's something with an element of a personality or of an action that is holding somebody back from their higher self, and that can be done by releasing judgment of others from the past or anger at somebody who had done something in the past. Allowing that emotion to heal within this oneself, so that one can really move on towards forgiveness and allowing oneself to judge properly in the future. Letting go of that sense of resentment of what had been done allows somebody to not use that resentment as part of their decision-making process in the future, because that could actually continue some form of that energy moving forward. So what would be better is to come from a place of forgiveness, and one where everybody involved understands that we're all imperfect here and we're working together to heal. And also to allow our light to shine forward. So that's not just healing, it's just let that light shine forward. But right now, we're just being at peace and calm. We're giving ourselves a break here. All right. And this leads to, change of mindset. Okay. So interesting. We have this Ten of Swords, a lot of swords within right now. That can be painful, but we have the 10 of Swords, which is an end of a chapter, true end to a chapter, coming from a surprise shock, but also a revelation in the mind that's healing, that's flowing through and allowing one to cleanse oneself and really just feel at peace, really emotionally at peace in that moment, which leads to being able to kind of take up the tasks at hand again in the future, okay? We're caring for our inner self right now, okay? The feeling of being secure is not necessarily always... when one has a good judging mind, you can align the sense of feeling secure with the material reality of security. So knowing when things are secure and when they're not allows someone to be at peace when they are actually secure. Okay, this is a really important aspect. The flip side is true too. Someone who has the mindset that is very understanding of judgment and knowing what actions lead to what consequences will be very good to at least be able to observe a situation that doesn't allow for comfort and knows that there's a good reason for that, and they're able to change the situation towards one of comfort, security, safety, and love. Okay, so that's kind of like knowing the paths, right? Knowing which path to go on. Cool. Okay, so leading forward, just because we have this 5 of Wands in the mind is not necessarily a negative consequence either with the 5 of Pentacles in the heart, because this is the reality. This is kind of the reality is we're finding our judging character, our ability to really be mindful of the situation and make proper assessments that leads us to a safer environment, okay? We've got to balance that. Okay, and this interesting. You are someone who meditates and you're able to respond, okay? So this is something, if you're able to meditate, if you like meditation, then you're able to use that, or at least be able to be in that mindset, that capability, those practices when the surprises come. Okay, beautiful reading. I hope you're doing well. Please leave a comment and let us know how you're doing. And if you enjoyed this reading, subscribe to the channel to see more readings like this in the future. Okay, take care. Hey, group number 3, welcome to your reading. Okay, so we have the Page of Pentacles. We're going to perhaps discuss thoughts of planning, thoughts of material, decision making. There might have been some lesson learned recently that allows you the time, or at least allows you the realization that the importance of prioritizing time to think about this is it's here. It's time. Okay. So we're going to draw 5 cards, and we will reveal them to see what's on the mind, what's in the spirit. Okay. Well, we got 2 here. That's just interesting. Okay, we'll leave them both out there. All right. So currently, in the current position we have, well, the well again. Okay. So the well came out in the first reading. Perhaps you'd like to read the first reading or listen to the first reading if you did not. In the same exact position, I believe. Yeah, okay. So, okay, but we're getting very different cards now. So we have this Hierophant, the Hierophant. So tradition is on the mind. Traditional approaches to something. Balance. You were balanced enough to make decisions based on traditional, like you actually, this is not balanced enough, but you were at the point where you were balanced in one way and allowed you to move back towards thinking about tradition, and this is leading to new ideas, which is kind of interesting. You're almost balancing tradition and new. Okay. Now we have a planned, really deliberate planning of some large project here. Okay. So this idea leads to a very large project that's going to involve multiple expertise. So multiple people in this situation, multiple experts to observe and create a foundation for, or like not even foundation, to build the cathedral. We're working on a grand project here. Oh yeah, we had the 2 cards. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, we're going to see temperance. We're going to see patience. We're also going to see, interestingly, patience and also being assertive. I see this as actually assertive. It doesn't mean aggressive in any way. This is standing one's ground, but in a very mindful, peaceful way. You're deliberately expressing your point of view in a situation, and you're listening to their point of view, and you're coming to a resolution that allows for everyone to move forward. This is some kind of deliberation with perhaps a team. This is something where there are people with multiple points of view and expertise, and it's going to lead to a real brighter future if this temperance card is of the mind. So the sense of really working together to get to the best possible outcome, and knowing that's the intention of everyone involved can be very helpful when establishing a situation, when establishing like this conversation, because that means we're leading towards working together towards a brighter future, even if it means we might disagree in some points. That allows us, because we can agree that we have the future we want in mind, in sync and aligned, we can allow a little bit of room for discussion. And one where we can acknowledge that both of us are on different perspectives of a specific aspect of it. Okay, it's not the whole thing. We're all together here for the whole thing. It's just what are the little details that need to be ironed out. Okay, so we're moving forward. Ooh, okay. A card flying out is an interesting event. Let's see what we get. Healing, mending one's relationships with others, having had a disagreement. Perhaps this is a situation where somebody expressed their point of view, and then the other person thought, well, now we're completely in different worlds. We're just not even on the same page at all. That could have led to kind of a sense of like maybe less communication. In some ways, you might have kind of not just you, but the energy, I'm going to say in this case, it's not you specifically, it's the energy of what happened in the past was perhaps an overcorrection, a pendulum swing a little too far, and that could have alerted the other person to maybe we're not even on the same page, but actually it was really just that you were kind of going along for too long, and with the other side without ironing out these like little details. The little details were kind of like you might have agreed, right? You might have just agreed, and you were like, just like, we're just gonna stay like, sure, you're gonna focus on being in balance and being like in tranquility with someone without having expressed authentic concern over specific ideas. Okay, so here we have this traditional aspect leading to a new mindset that allows you the meeting of the minds again, which might come with some agreement, but with an established understanding that we're all on the same page of what the outcome is. And that's one of healing, that's one of peace, okay? Like, we keep that in mind. We keep that in mind because we don't want to stray too far from understanding that is what we both want. If anything comes up that makes us feel like it isn't, that has to be expressed, okay? That has to be expressed because we're both on the same page. So we have to find that line in the page that we need to write together, okay? And that's where there's a lot of thought going in here. Interesting. Okay, so symbols. What do we got? I feel like I just need to express graphic design is my background. I don't know why that is important to say at this moment, but graphic design is where I come from. That's how I found my way here. Symbols are incredible to see which directions they get. They can go in all sorts of directions, and when you combine them, it creates this incredible mesh, this network, it's an ecosystem. There's just this kind of living, breathing conversation between multiple meanings that can be almost infinite. Okay, we're gonna lead forward though, but there is always need to be mindful that there's a direction here. The infinity is of course there, but that's should be left in mystery. That's the beauty of it in my mind, is just kind of reveling in that. It doesn't mean we need to figure everything out or explain everything away. It can allow us a moment of just kind of being in awe. And I think that's kind of where I see this process going. Okay, so we have the artist. Your very creative energy, maybe just not quite as assertive in the past. You have a beautiful vision of the future. It's just hard to articulate it when it doesn't perfectly align with what's been articulated as the options. There we go. Okay, so there's just two sides right now. It's like it's either this or that, right? But you're like, well, what about this other beautiful idea that's somewhere not in the middle but above? You're like, how about instead of this way or that way, not somewhere in between, we go this way? We go up. That's kind of the sense that I get from this energy here, which can lead to miscommunication, because it's not in the rule book, so to speak. It's not in the planned ideas of the options that have been laid out or understood as being the options. Because it's like, okay, I forget his name at the top. His last name was Bach. He was in an interview with Lex Friedman. Absolutely beautiful interview. He was discussing existence. I highly recommend it if you've never seen the Lex Friedman podcast. It's on YouTube. Highly recommend it. He mentioned the sense. It was going back and forth with Lex Friedman, And he said, Lex Friedman said, everything's possible, or anything's possible. And Bach responded a little bit like, actually, no, not everything is possible. This infinite idea spread, some things do fail miserably, okay? But that doesn't mean there aren't options we haven't seen yet. Okay, there could be, while the options that are laid out, this one or the other energy here, if this alignment of it, it's not necessarily finding a middle ground, going, oh, I'm just in the middle. It could be actually saying, no, there are elevated aspects on each side. Okay, now that's interesting to say, because it's not just saying they're equally the right choices, but it can be that there are very foundational, important elements from one side and the other that need to be in conversation. And that leads to this balancing of being able to make emotional and intuitive decisions that can sometimes lead into chaos. But you can balance that with a more like pragmatic, more rational, more like, hey, this actually is a reality situation that should at least be discussed. But now the question is, well, where does that lead us? And we have to be mindful that where we're going, we're discussing how to find peace, how to find prosperity and cooperation. We're discussing how to do that with perhaps the different elements that are at play. And finding expertise in this is going to lead to real emotional cleansing, a feeling of like just being at peace, knowing that we're on the right path. We're all in this together. We're not trying to take away any element of oneself from the other. What we're trying to do here is align these elements so that they work together. Never to remove, but rather to align them and allow them to work in a more cohesive, beautifully peaceful realm of being. Okay. And this leads to caring for oneself who has felt left out in the cold in the past. You are caring for the fact that, and actually saying that was real, that was hard, and that I can feel it, that really hurt, right? But you're here now, we're here together. I'm not saying no to you. I'm saying let's find peace together. That's beautiful. Okay. All right, what else we got here? What's in the we got to the emotional plane for sure. Where is that going? Let's talk to that, okay? And when I say talk to that, I'm talking about the internal sense of self, okay? The memories, the smells, the connection with nature, the ability to feel joy when you don't even know why, the sense of just that feeling of all of the mystery, that the idea that like you know exactly what your pet is thinking because you love them and you see and you know how they talk to you, those kinds of things. But being mindful that you know what you're talking about. Like if you're confused, obviously take a step back and find peace. But what we're talking about here is that intuition. We're going in the depths here, and we're getting a lot of swords in the intuition. Okay. So I just revealed all of them. I normally go through the past, then pendulum back into the future. But what we're doing here is we're letting the whole of the internal come out. Because you've been deliberating so much, it's time to just, have a quick chat with oneself without really using words, okay? Let's take a moment. Okay, well, we got, you had some real thoughts in the past, some real judgmental thoughts in the past that could have been right. But the sun is shining now. We have to figure out how to move forward in a way that doesn't allow that kind of conversation that is split anymore, okay? We're finding our union of the king and the queen here. We're healing it through an action of solar energy, solar like warmth coming in. And that warmth, that solarness, that sense of like that's an important aspect. The sun is shining forth. The light is bursting forth within. There is this energy here that's being moved forward deliberately, rather strong conviction, and there's a release of the mind into there's more than just one or the other thinking here. Okay, and then that leads to actually we can build these, and cathedrals might be the wrong word. I want to say rocket ships to Mars kind of element here, because we're working together on Earth as well as leading towards a brighter future. We're giving ourselves hope, continual hope, long-term hope, far into the future through this pathway to Mars, but we're also finding that connection back towards Earth, that connection towards healing using some form of new mechanizations of this creation. We're the gears are shifting into different places. We realize this gear should actually go here, and we're moving that forward. That's awesome. Okay, and then we got this queen here, so that we have both the king and the queen within. You are balancing now out. You're allowing yourself to find that intuitive connection. You are still going to have the sense of masculine analyzing of the emotional intuition, continuing on that, but it's kind of going to move towards more of a paddling because the whole self is one here. Okay, and then we got the Eight of Pentacles, which is just this meticulous sense of like we're going to work through a perfecting this sense of union or working towards something. You know, I like the idea of feeling like, I heard someone say this expression. It's like people treat each other like we'll never see each other again. It's kind of an idea that's like, if we can elevate our mindset up into like a sense that like there's a world without end in some ways, that this kind of like that to try to even think about letting go completely of one aspect of self and continually moving forward without it, that is not how it works. Okay, so like we have to refine and continually, we know in our hearts this is going to be work, but we're going to continually refine it. We're going to fine tune it. And this sense of like this rocket to Mars, this sense of world peace, the big dreams, the dreams that we all share. We want a beautifully balanced environment. We want our ecosystems to be healthy and thriving. We also want to dream of the stars and have a belief that we can make it there. We need all of that. Okay, that's the kind of energy we're talking about here. And we all have best interests of healing and safety at the heart of this, so we can continue to talk to each other, okay? That is the situation. We're not letting go of anybody here. We're all going on this journey together, okay? Great. Okay, if you enjoyed this reading, please leave a comment or subscribe to the channel to see more of them in the future. Can't wait to work on this journey together with you. Take care.